Om Shanti, how are you? So, in the recent Oscar festival, Will Smith punched Chris Rock because he commented on his wife. So, yes, Will Smith is really unlucky for having to vent out his anger like that in front of the world. But what would you have done if you were in a similar situation? Because that incident is just a prophecy for what's going to happen to all of us in the future. Yes, we will be tempted by somebody to vent out our anger. So, how are we going to handle that? Because it will definitely happen for sure. Maybe we will end up being tempted more than how Will Smith reacted to that situation. Everybody knows Will Smith is always vibrant, very friendly, filled with positive attitude. Despite that, that particular situation forced him to behave the way he did. If a man like Will Smith with such positive attitude cannot control his anger, how are we going to control our anger? In Hinduism, many spiritual gurus say that your spiritual progress starts with a simple basic question: who am I? So, if you keep on asking that question repeatedly, then you might end up finding the answer. But nobody has found the answer for that yet. So it means they have almost wasted their entire life thinking that they will find the answer for that on their own. But they didn't. And the people who followed those spiritual gurus, they didn't even realize that they are behind a person who do not know the answer on his own for that basic question. Because knowing the answer to that question is very essential for anybody who faced the situation similar to that of Will Smith to react in a very positive way. You will know why soon. It is God who comes in the end of the world, which is right now. So he comes 100 years before the destruction of this old world. He enters an old man's body and he gives this knowledge that starts with the answer for that basic question: who am I? God says, you are the soul. You are the soul that sees through these eyes, speaks through this mouth, performs all actions with the help of this body. And you are not this body or not any process that this body performs. You are the performer, that is, you are the soul. It shines like a tiny star in between the eyebrows, which is why Hindus have this habit of wearing some sort of religious symbol in between their eyebrows. So, we have got the answer that we are the souls. So what? What difference is it going to bring to my life? So it is not enough that you need to realize that you are the soul, but also you need to determine what kind of soul you are. Because if you write a biography of a person, what are you going to write? You're just going to write about all the actions he performed. So, where those actions stem from? From his thoughts. So, it is his thinking pattern that manifested as actions that we start to glorify them. So, now you need to understand one simple thing. Every single second, knowingly or unknowingly, you are recording yourself what kind of person you are. For example, if something goes wrong and if you get angry over that situation, it means you are recording yourself that I'm an angry person that will burst out when the situation goes out of hand. And if you are seeing your friend becoming very famous right before you and you are getting jealous on him, then you are recording yourself that you are the person that gets jealous even on your friend if he becomes famous. And if you are watching a girl in a glamour dress and gets sexually stimulated, then you are recording yourself that I will get sexually stimulated on seeing hot girls. And if you are seeing a beggar in the street and you go there to help him out by offering money or food, then you are recording yourself that you are a kind-hearted person that helps the poor or beggar. You start recording these things about yourself probably in your teens. And how would you perform before you reach your teens? So that's going to be something that you've been carrying from your past birth. So whatever your predominant characters were in your past birth is going to be continued in your next birth. Till you reach a certain age, you'll simply be acting out those characteristics without even thinking about it. But after a certain time, by the time you reach 13, 14, you will slowly develop, you will slowly re-record yourself depending on the situations you are in, the books you read, the friends you mingle with. You start redefining yourself and re-record about yourself. Maybe Will Smith never behaved like this in his life so far, in this birth. But still, you see him losing his temper right before the world. How did this happen? Did he practice for that? Of course, it came from his past birth. He may be a warrior or a king who got so furious when something happened to his family members or to his country members. So that attitude just burst out when he encounters similar situation in this birth. This is the reason why people commit murder, commit rape, commit adultery. It all came from their past birth when that characters that lies deeply hidden in them, they just burst out when they encounter such huge temptations. Till then, it just lies hidden deep within all of us. So, what should we do? We shouldn't wait till it bursts out. Before that, we have to destroy it within ourselves. How do we do that? By realizing that we are the souls that lives forever. So the reason is, if you consider yourself to this limited body, then obviously you wouldn't know how you would behave in a totally different situation. Even Will Smith, he had no idea that he had such character within him till that day. So now we need to do a basic thing, that we need to consider ourselves to be this soul that is different from this body. This is limited, perishable, but the soul is unlimited, it is eternal, it just lives on forever. But the soul, when it enters this earth 5000 years back, it was very pure, filled with divine qualities like love, peace, blissfulness, and purity. But as it enters birth and death cycle, it slowly loses its power of purity. So thereby it loses love, peacefulness, blissfulness very gradually, very slowly. After completing the first 2500 years, slowly the devilish qualities emerge. The main reason for that is this first 2500 years was heaven. So everybody there were called deities whom Hindus worship till date, because they possessed divine qualities. They are called deities. But and moreover, they were soul conscious. Naturally, they had this consciousness that they were eternal souls. So they consider themselves to be the souls, and they see each other as souls. So they don't fall for the external beauty, so there is no lust between them. Therefore, there is no chance for them to fall for the remaining vices like anger, greed, attachment, and ego. All these things happen because of the simple fact that they consider themselves to be this eternal soul that shines like a tiny star in between their eyebrows. But what happened after the first 2500 years is they started considering themselves to be this body, because they forget that they are souls. While they were soul conscious in heaven, they were blissful forever, because the very nature of the soul itself is blissfulness. Since their focus is fully on themselves, that is the soul, they could experience blissfulness throughout the first 2500 years. As soon as they lose soul consciousness, they can no longer experience blissfulness from within. So they start seeking happiness from the external environment through their senses. Thereby, they become addicted to these five vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. So they slowly lose their power, because once they get body conscious and get addicted to these five vices, the soul start losing its power very fastly. So as I mentioned earlier, they've been recording themselves naturally in heaven that they are pure, they are loving to each other, everybody is loving. Likewise, even everything was loving to them, including the wild animals like lion and tiger. They moved very lovingly to all animals and to humans. That is why in all religious scriptures it is mentioned that cow and lion drink water from the same pond together, because they don't feed on each other, they don't hurt each other, they were loving to each other, they all feed on plants in heaven. But when they become body conscious, they start re-recording themselves in a different way. They record that they are beautiful, which defines actually their body, and they want to experience pleasure through their senses. So when they see a beautiful girl, they're going to record that she is very beautiful, I want to have her. Then after having her as a lover or wife, now they are going to record that I have to feed her, for that I need to rob somebody else's so that I can make her happy. But that was not the case in heaven, because in heaven everything will be full, whether it's health, wealth, peace, everything. So there won't be sudden deaths at all. And the palaces they live in are made up of golden bricks. They were so rich and so innocent that they don't even have doors and windows for their palaces, because they don't know what robbery is in the first place. So as we enter several births in hell, we start recording worse compared to our previous births. So we become more selfish and more wicked. So when somebody tries to snatch away our kingdom while we were kings in hell, we are tempted to fight with them. So you are recording that you are the kind of person that you fight for your right, for your people. So actually that particular character burst out in Will Smith in this particular incident. So now what we need to do is to re-record ourselves in a more positive manner. But make no doubt that this world is hell to its core. You are going to be surrounded by people more and more selfish, more and more wicked. So you will be expecting people to speak bad about you, to take revenge on you. Anything is possible. Despite that, I am going to be at peace. How is it possible? By accepting everything. By accepting that this is hell. Hell will obviously be filled with wicked people. It's like entering a forest. You expect wild animals to attack you anytime. It is your duty to protect yourself. Now I need to protect my true nature of the soul, which is blissfulness, peacefulness. It is because I have lost that true nature that I have created this world, which is filled with wicked people. But that's nature. We didn't know the truth. We had nobody to teach this till death. Only now God comes in the end and gives this knowledge. It is because how you think the world is created around you likewise. So everybody in the world is wicked, so they will be facing wicked people all the time. So that will trigger the wickedness more and more within you. Now, you know that this world is wicked, but you are not going to be wicked any longer. You are going to be selfless, as pure as God. How's that possible? By listening to the word of God daily. Where do you get that? God enters an old man's body and gives this knowledge called Murli, which is available absolutely free of cost in all Raj Yoga meditation centers, and also it is available in websites and several YouTube channels. I'll be giving the links of some of them in the description below. Please read that daily, because that's the only true knowledge that's going to fill you with divine qualities. Other than that, whatever you hear from people around you, from religions around you, everything is just a word of Satan. There are only two ways: way of God and way of the devil. God is one and his way is one, and we get that way only when he comes in the end. Till then, we've been listening only to the word of devil through religious scriptures. It may look good on the surface, but if you go deep, it will just take you into hell. That's why you see in all religions that God himself says people to kill each other. Do you think God will ever say that? Because religions were not created by God, it were created by humans. God is not the creator of religions, he is the creator of heaven. He gives the knowledge to reach heaven. How will that be? That will make you be full with qualities that you originally possessed in the beginning. You have no lust for each other. Husband and wife, when they had this thought of having a baby, the wife gets pregnant. Other than that, they didn't lust each other. There's nothing physical between them. That is why Hindus worship them till date. But what we forgot is, it is we who were deities in the beginning, but after taking birth in hell, we forgot that. We built temples for ourselves and we start worshipping them without even realizing that it is us who were worthy of worship while we were in heaven. Now we need to be worthy of worship. So what should we do? In heaven, the deities, they don't have lust for each other. Their eyes were very pure. They see each other as souls, not even as bodies. So the words that come out of their mouths would be so loving. They don't use words to hurt each other like we do in hell now. Now we reach a point that we are not even able to realize that we are hurting the person we are talking to. Like the incident of Will Smith, when that particular Chris Rock is making fun of his wife, he doesn't even realize that it's going to hurt Will Smith and his wife. So we have become like that. That's the consequence of losing the power of purity. Now, in order to accumulate ourselves with the power of purity, we need to remember God constantly as a point of light, as much as possible. Before that, we need to consider ourselves to be this imperishable soul that is entirely different from this body, and we need to connect ourselves to our Father, the Supreme Soul, God Shiv. He is called Allah by Muslims and Heavenly Godfather by Christians. God is just one. He doesn't enter the birth and death cycle. Despite that, it is only God who possesses this knowledge about this time cycle, which he needs to give in the end. For that, he needs a body, a human body. So he takes an old man's body and he gives this knowledge. Now, whatever we have seen so far in this world is nothing compared to what we are going to see in the future. The world is going to turn utterly selfish. You're going to see rape before your eyes. You're going to see enormous amount of killings before your eyes. You're going to see everybody is going to become orphan right before you. So it is already happening in many places like Ukraine. It will definitely happen for us as well. But are we prepared for that? Because only in those times when you are really low that you will have no control over your emotions like Will Smith. It will definitely happen. So now you have to re-record about yourselves. You need to record yourself as a pure soul. It is very easy to say that you are a pure soul in a room, but when you are facing a very hot girl, it is very unlikely that you will consider yourself to be a pure soul, because you will start lusting for her. So you need to repeatedly say to yourself that I am a pure soul no matter what happens around you. Even if you happen to see a girl in her glamorous outfit, I'm still going to stay pure and peaceful. Because if you fall for lust, you're going to lose peace. If you fall for anger, you're going to lose peace. If you're going to fall for attachment, ego, jealousy, everything is going to rob peace out of you. But by being peaceful all the time, you are just staying above these vices. You don't fall for them. So that is why we always say Om Shanti, which means Om stands for I'm a soul. Shanti means peace. I'm a peaceful soul. You are saying that to yourself before speaking to everybody, speaking to anyone. Because speaking to somebody will definitely make you lose peace, at least in a tiny bit. So you're making sure that you're just reminding yourself constantly that you are the soul and you are not going to lose your true nature. So you have to record yourself constantly that I'm going to be peaceful no matter what happens around me. Even if my loved ones cheat on us, I'm still going to stay peaceful. If my wife cheat on me, I'm still going to stay peaceful. If my son cheat on me, I'm still going to stay peaceful. If somebody steals my wealth, I'm still going to stay peaceful. If somebody speaks bad about my family member, I'm still going to stay peaceful. Because I know this world's only intention is to steal peace away from me. Why is that doing that? Because it is only by losing peace that I will start exhibiting aggressive behavior that is required for the upcoming future, which is going to be a very dangerous world. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to stay peaceful forever so that I can take birth in heaven. This world is going to be converted to heaven, Satyug, pretty soon. So by staying peaceful and blissful, I'm making myself eligible to be the deity of heaven. Not only that, if you stay peaceful, you know what to do, no matter how difficult the situation becomes around you. In this case of Will Smith, if he is able to stay peaceful, then he'll be going to the stage. Obviously, he will get the chance after winning Oscar, right? So he'll be saying I really appreciate the jokes of Chris Rock, despite that he needs to realize that it offends others. It hurts really bad. So maybe I'm matured enough to take it in a positive way, but I don't want my friend dear Chris Rock to face a dangerous situation in future because of this behavior. So I want him to change the style of joking. I'm just saying it as his good friend, but whether or not he is going to take my word is totally up to him. Now, by saying this, he has made his point. He's even made his point to his wife that he is hurt. At the same time, he is declaring to the world that this is not right without hurting anybody. So this sends a very strong signal to the world. But now everybody is making fun of Will Smith instead of Chris Rock, who actually triggers Will Smith to act this way. Even though Will Smith on the very next day tweeted saying that he is absolutely sorry for his action and he is even ready to personally apologize before Chris Rock. But I don't think whether Chris Rock has apologized Will Smith in the first place. Even Chris Rock had this opportunity of apologizing in the stage because he was there all the time. But even he was so disturbed and angry, though he didn't express that, he didn't apologize either. So you think about all the situations that will make you lustful, angry, attached. Just imagine all those situations, and you need to stay peaceful in that situation. For that, what you need to do, what kind of thought you need to produce to stay peaceful. So you will get many points from Murli, the knowledge of God. If you listen to it daily, it is pretty easy for you to find the right knowledge point at the right situation so that you can implement it and stay peaceful as if nothing happened around you. Let me say few points for this video. God says whatever happens in this 5,000 year time cycle called Kalpa, that's going to happen the same way Kalpa after Kalpa. It's going to stay accurate in all Kalpa, which means if you are listening to this video, it obviously means that you have watched this in the previous Kalpa on the very same day in 2022. Likewise, you will be hearing the same video after 5,000 years in the next Kalpa for the same Will Smith incident. So, how is this knowledge going to help me to face this situation? God says, since everything is predestined, nothing is new. Why should you even bother about changing it? Because you can't change it. Just accept it. Be peaceful. When your mind is at peace, you will be thinking in a right way and you will be acting in a right way. That will make a huge impact around you. Not only that, God says everything that happens will turn into good in the end. It might look very bad and fearful at the moment, but if you just let it follow its course of action without disturbing, you will see that it will turn into good for you and for everybody. So everybody is recording about themselves in a very negative way, which is the result of the aggressive behavior of people now across the globe. Now you have to record yourself in a more positive way constantly, because if you just God says don't see, listen, or speak or think about anything in this world, because that's going to trigger those five vices more and more in you. You don't want that to happen. You want to destroy those vices completely. So don't see what's going on around you. Don't listen to anybody. Instead, just see God all the time in your mind and listen to only God's words throughout the day, which means you need to repeat God's words in your mind constantly, so that your character, it undergoes a brand new transformation in a more positive way. So to put it simply, for you, the world filled with these vices has already destroyed. Now you are, at least in mind, at a mental level, you are living in the new world, heaven, where you are surrounded by loving people, where everybody is pure. So only if you stay there at a mental level, you will exhibit those divine qualities right now. Of course, it demands practice, constant practice. Go to the near Raj Yoga meditation centers. It is available throughout the world. So it is only in Brahma Kumari's Raj Yoga meditation center the knowledge of God, directly from God, is available, absolutely free of cost. So rush to the nearest Brahma Kumari's Raj Yoga meditation center and take that knowledge and transform yourself before the world creates a negative impact in your lifestyle. So if you have practiced this at a mental level, that you are going to stay peaceful no matter what happens to your child, to your wife, to your parents, only then when something happens to them, you will still remain peaceful, because you have practiced around millions of times before in your head, before that actual incident happens, so that you don't find it as something new, because you have already conquered that situation and stayed peaceful millions of times in your head. Not only that, you actually succeeded in facing those difficult situations in millions and billions of kalpa. So you are going to be successful in facing those difficult situations all the time. Om Shanti. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and leave your valuable comments, and do subscribe if you haven't already, and please take a moment to share this video with your friends and family members, because anything can happen to anybody at any time. It's by sharing this video with them, you don't know what kind of change you are creating in their life. Om Shanti. Thanks again for watching.